Cześć, tutaj Justyna Świetlicka. Witam Cię w 155. odcinku mojego podcastu, audycji, w której poruszam temat diety, aktywności fizycznej, szeroko pojętego zdrowego stylu życia, ekologii, podróży i rozwoju osobistego. Z okazji walentynek i rocznicy naszego poznania, bo poznaliśmy się w 2021 roku, 13 lutego, dzień przed walentynkami, postanowiliśmy nagrać się z Isma kolejne Q&A, więc odpowiemy dzisiaj na pytania, które zadaliście nam na Instagramie. Część z tych pytań pojawiła się już w naszym poprzednim odcinku, więc nie będziemy się tutaj powtarzać, w szczególności dla tych osób, które słuchały już poprzedni odcinek. Także jeśli jesteście ciekawi, jak się poznaliśmy i co o sobie myśleliśmy w momencie, kiedy się poznaliśmy, to wróćcie do tego poprzedniego odcinka, a tutaj trochę rozwiniemy temat właśnie po roku od naszego poznania. Hello, Ismael.
Dzień dobry.
Today we're going to answer some questions, and we already saw those questions. You helped me to translate them. And I think we can start. First question is a question to you, but I think we can both answer. What do you love about me?
What do I love about you? Before we jump into the questions, we may want to say that we, yes, translated them together, but we didn't talk about them yet. So that was a small little remark before we go into that. What do I love about Justina? A lot, I guess. And in fact, we write it down. Every night we keep a journal where we write down what we appreciate about each other. So I could just find this journal and read to you guys as I do to her each night.
But I think it would be like a 10-hour long podcast. Ismael reading out loud. What does he love about Justina? Maybe we do it one day.
A monologue, yeah, that's what. I don't think this is what we want to give to the listeners here. But there is, of course, certain aspects, and I think especially the last 2 weeks have shown me a lot again. And the learning is a huge factor that I love about you. You're open to new things, you are eager, you are interested, and it doesn't really matter what we do. I think about that particular example of going for snorkeling and going for diving. And I remember that literally 10 days back, you didn't want to dive, didn't want to put your head under the water, unless it was with the surfboard, of course, but not by yourself. And 2 days later, meaning a week ago, you were diving by yourself when we went for snorkeling, and you were very eager to get better and better. And this is something that's true for anything that we do together. It doesn't matter if it's learning new skills, you're driving a scooter, you're snorkeling, even hiking, one of the great hobbies of my Justina. No, but fun aside, it's really good and it's really interesting to see that you're so eager and that you really love life and that you experience life in the present moment. And I think this is just a very good fit, and I love that about yourself. And there is so many other things, but I think this is what's very present for me in this very moment.
I think I'm learning it from you. I would say that 2 years back, I was not a person who is present all the time, and I was not a person who, I don't know, experienced life. I was trying to, but it was more like check from the list, because I had a list of things I want to do, cool stuff to do. And now I'm learning to be more present and not think about future things, because we just bought tickets to Sri Lanka, which means that we're gonna surf again. And now I'm like, okay, I was thinking already about Nepal for 2 months. This is when we got those tickets to Nepal. And now it's kind of, it's not so new. And now I'm focusing on Sri Lanka. So I try to, and you teach me how to do it. Like, dude, don't think about Sri Lanka yet. First, we're going to Nepal. Let's enjoy Nepal. So I think I have a good teacher there. And if I want to answer this question, it would be like, you are a really good person, I would say. You are funny. This is what I really like. And we can talk about each and everything, I guess. I think this is what I like, that we can just sit, watch the sunset and talk, and it doesn't get old. So I hope it will not get old. But this is only 3 things, and the list goes on and on and on. So, and this is why we're here, and this is why one day we will get married, probably, which I didn't see coming like a year ago, being single in Fuerteventura. Yeah, because at that time, because we are recording this episode 5th of February, we were both single at that time.
When are we airing this podcast? Isn't it on the 14th of February?
It's Valentine's Day.
Exactly right. And this is when we know each other for 1 year and 1 day. So still not too long. And still what Justina just said, it's true. Like a year ago, we were both by ourselves or just finding ourselves.
Okay, the next question is, what do we appreciate about each other? But I think we just answered. Is there something else? I think I really appreciate that Ismael do the dishes. He does the dishes. I really like that. And I don't know. I appreciate everything. There is one little thing that I don't like, but we will talk about it. But other than that, I don't know. You are a cool person, and I like to spend time with you. And this is what. And also, what I like that you like to spend time with me. It's not that, Kochanie, please, let's spend some time together. I miss you a lot. No, you just want to spend time. And usually it's sometimes the other way around. When I work too long, you're like, dude, we didn't spend time together. Maybe we spend some time together. So this is what I like. And I really appreciate that you want to spend time with me.
And I think, yeah, we've said a lot, but what I also do appreciate is that we always find a solution, and we always find a way to talk about it, even if it may not be the easiest way. We're going to go into that probably with the different questions later on, but we always can bring up any topic, any concern, and of course, all the good things, and we talk to each other, and we don't have to be scared, we don't have to be afraid, but we can just know that we trust the other person 100%. We appreciate spending time together, and we tell each other, but if there is something that's not going 100%, we are open enough to tell each other, and we don't have to fear the reaction of the other person, so we don't have to be afraid of any consequence. And that's really to appreciate for me.
I think it's a big one, because before we met, I was a person who really did not like conflict. And for me, telling somebody, I didn't like that, is already a conflict. So I avoid it a lot. And from the very beginning, you made me talk. So we never had this quiet day. I think once I made this half quiet day and you were really pissed that I didn't want to tell you what's wrong. I just couldn't. I just didn't know how. And then since then you showed me that, okay, the conversation may not be pleasant, but it's, 1-2 hours of the conversation, and then it gets better. And I am trying to at least take it to different relationships with my friends, because I was avoiding some conversations with my friends, which was not really helpful. And now I am trying to fix that, which is more difficult. It's better to fix it straight away. But this is what I learned from you. And this is a big one. And I think I should make the whole episode about that with an expert. Maybe I bring you and we talk about open communication.
And the only remark I want to make there is that I for sure was not pissed at you. And if I gave you the impression, then I'm very sorry for that. But I was sad about it. And we talked that it made me sad, and that this is something that we want to rely on this open communication. But everything else you said, I can confirm. And I'm super happy that we both develop.
Yeah. Another question is, what would you like to accomplish together? Do you have common goals? I don't know. I think I didn't share this story, because how did we maybe end up talking about getting married and stuff? And I don't know. It's that at the end of 21, we made this list of our goals. You made a list of your goals, I made a list of my goals, and then we shared it together. And I didn't put anything about like getting married or something, because I thought you don't want to do it, so I just didn't think about it, because you told me that it's not important to you, and yeah, so I didn't put it there. And you put on your list that you want to get married or marry me. And I was like, okay, I didn't see that one coming. And this is how we started to talk about getting married. That's why I was not super surprised with engagement. I was still surprised because I didn't expect purple ring under the water from you. That was a surprise, but we knew because we talked openly. It's not that I'm thinking, does he wants to marry me or no? So I think this is a common, I don't know if it's a goal. Is it a goal? You put it on your list.
I guess we could define that as a goal if we want to, and I think it is a big step. So yes, we may call that a common goal of ours to get married. But I think the bigger goal is to spend life together and to share a lot of wonderful adventures and experiences and to grow together. And there is so many different facets to that, right? There is so many things we don't know about yet. So I believe there is a few explicit goals that we actually want to achieve. Namely is to keep this open communication. Namely is to have a good time and live the present wherever we are. Namely is that we always have, to a certain degree, enough time to actually live this relationship and not get hooked with all the work left and right and continue running, but that we always have this open, ongoing goal of being honest, being direct, and sharing experience together. I think this is a few goals. And we also have ideas about things that we may create together in the upcoming future. I don't think they are worthy to talk about yet, but we have ideas and we want to create things together. And some of them are very personal things. Some of them are maybe also professional. I don't know how much you would want to already talk or can already talk about. At some point, probably we're going to have a house or different houses together. This could be a goal, no? Or we will figure out where is the best place for us to stay for longer than a month and maybe to find a good rhythm that suits us. I think this is all goals we have together. But for me, again, the common demeanor, the biggest goal is to keep this relationship in a state that we can always talk about each and everything. And my biggest goal is to make sure that you're happy with what you have and that you have a good life.
That's so sweet. No, I really like your answer. I didn't know this answer because first thing that came to my mind about goals is like, what are we planning? And I think that this one little goal for next year is that we want to make a cycle tour. Because I got a cycle before pandemic and then I left Poland, and you really love cycling, and now you cannot because we don't have your cycle and we live places where it's not really worth to take the cycle, maybe. I don't know, or maybe it's too difficult. So we decided that this year we want to make, I don't know, let's see, 2 weeks cycle tour, and I want to see if I like it, and then maybe one day we'll cycle from where to where? Shanghai?
To Tehran. I've watched a few years ago a documentary about two guys cycling from Shanghai to Tehran, and I really like the idea of cycling the Pashmina Highway, and they called it the Silk Road, which was the land connection from Asia to Europe in ancient times, for like a few hundred years back, or even a few thousand years back. So this could be an idea, and yeah, there is a lot of cool adventures you can do with the cycle. So let's see. And yes, this is one common, for me, it's an experience we want to go for, and maybe we can classify it as a goal. But for me, the goal is more an ongoing process than this particular event. But I think this is also what is the definition of a goal, and we don't have to dive too deep into that. We can do that at another.
Yeah, I think our goal is to have a cool life.
Yes, that's a common goal.
That's a common goal. And summer all the time. This is my goal. to not have winter so often.
Says the girl that's gonna fly to Nepal in 2 days. Like,
Tomorrow,
all the time you should be...
Today is Saturday, we are flying tomorrow to Nepal. So let's see how I like it and if I like our relationship still after hike. Of course, I will like our relationship. How much time do you spend time with each other?
The classy response, it depends. I guess it really depends.
All day, every day.
Yeah, but that's not the true answer. I mean, we sleep together in one bed all day, every day. And we are very good in cultivating our morning routines.
I think this is a good one.
Is something that we, for ourselves, deem important and decided that we really want to keep our morning routine. How long is that on average? I would say it's a good hour in the morning. So we wake up, we meditate 10 minutes. Then we do yoga somewhere between 25 and 40 minutes together. Then we have a slot allocated for learning. I want to call it new skills. You do the pincha, I do the handstand.
I'm teaching him how to handstand.
We're learning together how to handstand, yes. And then I do a couple of more things. You go for the shower, then we have coffee, we talk, we plan the day a little bit. So I would say this is for sure hour, 60 to 90 minutes with breaks and everything and without big rush. And then we start our days. Then we have lunch together.
Yeah, because then we work for like
we work
4 hours.
Mostly individually. We work 3-4 hours, whatever it is.
Next to each other, kind of. Like
yeah,
in the same room.
Usually in the same room, in the same house. Then we have another hour, lunch break. Usually we don't eat for the full hour, but we also prepare food together. So that's another hour, and usually we try to spend some time in the afternoon, evening also together. And here it really depends on the phase of life that we are currently in. I mean, the last 6 weeks we had visitors. A good friend of mine came, your best friend came, and this is super beautiful and it's super cool. But of course, we don't spend as much time in it also. This is one factor. Another factor is how much work is there and how many other topics do we have to deal with. So it happened, maybe especially in Central America, that we spend pretty much the whole day together, latest from the afternoon. But it can also happen, especially here in Asia, that we really just have this morning slot and lunch together because you work long and I work long and we do different activities. So
and it is like that because now we kind of chose to work for 2 or 3 weeks and then have time off because first we were working like November a lot and half of December because we knew we will have 2 weeks. I had 2 weeks completely off Instagram, which I really like to maybe work a little bit more and then have off completely. Because if I have a little bit of work, for me, it's like I still think about it, it's on my head. And then after a few days of not working, I can actually chill. And now again, we came back, we don't have so much time. You are preparing episodes for your podcast. I don't know if you already know, but Ismael also has a podcast, which is called Just Another Mindset, and you already released 4 episodes?
As we speak, it's 3. As this will be aired, it will be 4. And yes, a few more are recorded, and every Tuesday there is a new episode coming out. So if you want to have some English content, feel free to join us on the Just Another Mindset.
Subscribe to Just Another Mindset podcast.
Yeah, let's not throw too much advertising here. But yes, there is stuff to do and exciting projects to work on. So it's not getting boring.
Yeah, so the thing is that before we met, I was working and doing vacation at the same time, kind of. So I didn't really have to prepare so much. So I was kind of working less during the days. And now, since we again want to have 2 weeks in Nepal to hike, we had to work more because I had to prepare 3 episodes of podcast. You had to prepare it. I also have other stuff to do. That's why we don't spend so much time together right now, which makes it's a little bit sad.
Yeah, we feel it. But also I believe we know what it's for, right? So we are both people that like to spend actual time together and not only a few minutes,
and
or
sitting on the phone
sitting next to each other on the phone is not really spending time together. So for both of us, it's fine to have what we have, and what we have currently is a 6 workday week, and we work reasonable hours, let's say. But we also know that for doing that, for pre-working, if you may call it, we will have some time for ourselves, that we don't have to look at our devices, that we don't have to check too much stuff. And yeah, so it's difficult to answer the initial question, how much time do you spend together? I think we try to spend a fair amount of time together, and we have our rituals in the morning, we have our routines, and we have common lunch, and we also have dinner together. I'm just not mentioning dinner here into much detail because usually it's a shake and it's not a big ceremony about that. But we eat together, and we always have time to talk to each other. I think that's also an important one. Like, even if we work a lot, even if there is not all the time throughout the day, I have the feeling that we can always talk to each other, and there is no miscommunication happening, or there is no holding grudges against each other over a long time, and then we don't have time to talk about this, we don't have time. We always find time, either very early in the morning or after we go to bed, or once we're already in bed, to talk about stuff. And I think that's important. So it's not like work, and then meet the next day, but we also always take the time to...
Usually we try to go to bed together. This is an important one. Sometimes I have funny meetings at midnight with Polish people, but we try to go to bed together. So at least we can talk for like 15 minutes, recap the day and talk how we feel and stuff. So we try to do it, go to bed without devices. This is our rule. Sometimes we break it. If we sleep in the bungalow with only one bed, but it's not that we go to bed and we, check Insta. Sometimes we, do some stuff on the phone, but we really don't like to do it when we don't have like a space to go and we don't want to sit outside with the mosquitoes. But this is an important one, because I'm not gonna say that we never use phones in bed, because it's not true.
Yeah, but you have to be more precise. It's about the actual location. We don't use them while we are in bed together. That's a never. We don't do that. If we have a room where you don't have a couch, or where you have a seat outside, or where you cannot sit somewhere, then sometimes it does happen that, you take the phone during the day or when you work, that this is your work spot, which I also don't like too much, to be honest, because I think it's not good to get used to use a phone in bed, but that's also your decision. But I think we can give a never. We don't lay in bed in the evening or in the morning or whenever together with our phones. I don't think that has happened, because for both it's important that this is distinguished place for not social media.
And then there is a question, are you getting bored of each other sometime, spending so much time together? For me, it's a no. I think we don't spend enough time together lately. No. Even if we spend a lot of time together, I'm never bored. Because either we do something exciting, like we go for surf, if we had those days without time, we always go for, small hikes to the waterfall, or like for food, we cook, we read together, like we do stuff. And even if we don't do anything, we talk. And it's interesting to talk to each other. So for me, it's a no. And we don't spend enough time together for me.
And also there, I would like to be a bit more precise, you may want to call it, we also do boring stuff together. We also lay next to each other and read our books. So lately, not so much. And that maybe shows us that we don't spend enough time together. But it's not that we always do all the exciting activities and this is the only time we spend together. But I think what's important here is like we are not only in a emotional and physical relationship, but we also got friends. So we care about each other and we do stuff together. And this stuff could be going to a supermarket and doing groceries, or this could be going for surfing, or this could be reading a book, or this could be talking about new business ideas. There's a lot of stuff. So I don't think we get bored because we have so many different topics to talk about. And it's not that we are forced to spend time together. You have your hobbies, your topics, your tasks, and I have the very same. So we don't spend all day, every day together. And I believe if we would ever feel bored, there is plenty of stuff to do also individually. I can do sports, you can do sports, I can talk to friends, you can talk to friends. There's a lot of stuff to do. So I never got bored and I never felt the obligation to do something with you. No, I'm looking forward to do something with you because we have a lot of cool stuff to exchange.
Yeah, I agree. And then there is a question, is there anything that you do separate and just for yourself?
I think we just answered that. And yes, there's quite a few activities, in fact, that we do for ourselves. I can speak for myself here, like 2 times a week. I go for a run.
At the beach.
Seldomly Justina is joining, I want to call it.
Often.
Not so often. I don't know. The last time was in Costa Rica, I believe, that we went for running together. So some time ago.
We went in the village and then around Gathen we did together. So
True.
we went
True.
once.
In Poland you also came once. You're very true. I'm not saying that you're not running, but going together. Yeah. That was not happening too often because that's what the question is.
I stopped running.
I go to the gym, if you want to call it, or I do my calisthenics outside 3 to 4 times a week by myself. Also something I do for myself. Most of the time / always, if I call my friends, if I exchange with people in the evening, I do that by myself. So I have a fair bit of activity time there. Basically, most of our focus time, even though you helped me a lot, and I'm super thankful for that and grateful for that. You helped me with all the stuff that's going on in my life right now, but yet most of the focus work time, we don't spend time together. And there's also activities that you do by yourself. I'm just now out of my head, think about pole dancing. I don't know, what is other activities that you do for yourself?
Now not so much, because all the time that I don't spend with you, I work or I talk to my friends. I try to call my friends. This is what I do separate. And I waste time on Instagram, which for me it's not wasting. For me it's entertainment, it's learning. So yeah. I mean, the only sport, sometimes I go for walks by myself. It depends. When I try to do it, it's, I don't know, I would say I suck at it. But yeah, I think I sometimes spend more time on Insta than you don't consume so much. I like to, there is few people that I really like to follow and I really like to know what's up. I don't know, like checking out how is Asha in Bali, or like other people traveling like in the van or something. I don't know, I like to watch those stories and I learn a lot from them, and this is my only entertainment kind of. Yeah, because I don't even watch Netflix anymore. I used to watch a lot of Spanish series and now I don't really have time for that, or I don't take time for that. I don't want to say I don't have time for that. So yeah, I think we are giving long answers to short questions. Okay, is there anything that you... okay, this one I answered. Are you planning to have kids?
For this very moment, I guess not, because we are traveling, we are getting from A to B, and we are still learning to cope with each other. But let's see, I think this is a question that you get answers for the present moment, but we never know what's going to happen and where we're going to be. So I wouldn't give it a clear yes or give it a clear no. I think this is just something we develop as friends, as a couple, and as potential parents. And if we ever feel this is the right time, then we can discuss it. But for now, it's not a big topic for the two of us.
No, and for long, my answer was always no. And for now, if somebody asks me, I'm like, no, I really don't want to have kids. Maybe it will change, because if you asked me 1 year ago, do you want to get married? I would say, hell no. I want to be single and travel the world by myself, because I didn't know that there will be a person that I want to spend my life with. So I don't know. For now, it's a no for me. And I think it's a bigger no for me than for you. Sometimes we talk about kids and how we could bring them up. And for me, it's like, maybe it's an interesting, I don't know, a cool thing to do in life. But I don't know, I would be really afraid to become a mom. Like, if I think about all the responsibilities, I don't know. You are more chill with it, and I'm like freaking out if I think about it. And I think, I don't know if you remember, but one of the first things I told you in El Cotillo when we were having food, I told you that, you know what? You look like a person that I could have kids with. So this is what I told you in one of our first dates. And because we were, I don't know, super open with each other, and I still believe if I ever have kids, it would be with you, because I think you are really responsible person. And even if things will not work out between us, I think if we would get divorced or whatever, then I think, I don't know, we could manage somehow so our kids don't end up traumatized or something. But no, I think you are the right person to bring up children, to like show them how to enjoy life. And this is what's important, to show your kids that, I don't know, life is about having fun and being excited and being happy and not achieving goals. So I think you are the right person. I think this is not the right time, maybe in a few years. So this is the answer. And when did you feel that this is the right person for life and that you don't want to live without this person anymore? And is there how? Do you know, like, that this is the right person? When did you feel that you want to get married and propose?
That's a different question. When did I feel that you are the right person and that I want to spend life with you? And how, is there a how? To be honest, I think I felt it very early after getting to know you, but I didn't know how to classify this feeling, and thus we decided to get to know each other better and to confirm this feeling. I think I felt it as early as Fuerteventura. I had a hint about it, that you are a person for whom it's worth doing a lot, and that I really appreciate spending time with you. But if you have that after a few days, after a few weeks, your rational mind, and that makes perfect sense, is questioning such a statement. And therefore we went to Central America, and over days, over weeks, over months, confirmed this thought. And by now it got confirmed on 4 different continents. We've spent time in multiple countries. We went, to different environments, and still this thought is there. So for me, it came very early, but it got confirmed over time. And it may sound fast, but also like what people should keep in mind is that we just talked about how much time we actually spent together, but we moved in together after knowing each other for a week. So we are fast forward on a lot of things, but which also has to do, that is my approach, but also your approach. I much rather find out after 3 weeks or 3 months that this is not the right person, because I don't want to meet my other person every other Wednesday or 2 times a month on a Saturday, and then after 5 years decide to move back together. This is just the personalities we have. And I think, therefore, we just got confirmed with this thought. Is there a how? It sounds romantic, but I don't think there really is. I think this is just, you meet this person, you spend time with this person, and you realize that there is a lot of common ground that you could develop together. And this is at least true for me, that I felt, yes, this is the person I want to spend life together and give it a try.
I agree. And I think I always kind of dreamt about having this type of relationship, like getting to know each other in a kind of romantic way. I mean, we met on Tinder, but it was like romantic. You went to Fuerte to work remotely. I did that. We lived in the same village. So it was kind of romantic. And then, I don't know, like knowing from the very beginning that you want to spend time together. I think what I didn't like about seeing other people before, it was this uncertainty that like, does he like me? Why he's not calling? Why? I hated it. And with you, it was really simple. I didn't, because like first few days, we were not like living together, but spending a lot of time with each other. You were working late, and I didn't have to think if I can call you, like, can I come to see you? It was obvious that I come and that we spent all the free time together. So for me, from the very beginning, I knew it's something special. And it was also special when we decided, okay, let's go to Poland, meet my parents, and then go to see your family, because we didn't want to have time apart. And we just wanted to fix, I don't know, your stuff in Germany so you can leave, because you were renting an apartment at that time. And we decided to travel. And I don't know, it felt supernatural for me. I didn't even question it, like, is it the right thing to do? I mean, at the very beginning, I had a moment that I wanted to run away. I was like, God, this is getting too serious. But I was before my period. And before my period, sometimes I have those doubts. Weird. Now I got used to it. And yeah, but I think I also, from the very beginning, I felt it's something special. But after living together for a few months, it got confirmed that it's, because before I thought that living with somebody, it's a struggle, and it's so hard to live with somebody because it's a different person, this person has different habits, and it's annoying because this and that. And with you, it was so easy. Like there is like tiny things that we sometimes don't like about each other, like tiny. But no, it's nothing really serious. And I'm actually surprised that you can meet a person that's, I don't know, similar kind of, and you just feel comfortable with each other all the time, and it's not difficult. I think what I really like, that spending time together is effortless. So because with different people, especially new people, sometimes I say that I'm weird with people, and I don't know, I'm an introvert, because for me it costs me a lot of energy to spend time with new people, because I try to entertain them, I try to make them happy, I don't know, so they have good time with me. And with you, I don't have it. Even with my close friends, I also have it sometimes, and it costs me energy to spend time with people, and with you, I don't have it. And I was like, okay, that's cool. We can spend time, life together. But because of this, I don't know, society tells you like, this is too quick, this is too early, it's only been a year and you want to marry him. Sometimes I have those thoughts, like, I don't know, maybe one day you're gonna lose those pink glasses and you're gonna see all the bad stuff. And I don't know, sometimes I think about it, but I'm not gonna wait for 5 years to get married just because I'm afraid. If for whichever reason we decide that we don't want to be together anymore, that's okay. We're gonna have probably fun marriage, cool ceremony or something, and then life goes on. Like, I will not regret it.
And so far you're not losing your glasses, you're only breaking them, and that maybe is due to extensive travel, and we can always repair that. So yeah, that was a very long answer, and I think the short answer is it just feels natural. So we both appreciate that we didn't have to play any games from both sides. And I think this is something, if you feel that the other person is playing games or that you are playing games, then this might or might not be the right approach to things, at least not the approach that was right for the two of us. And yeah, just the full trust that the time that we spend together, regardless if it's going to be for another year, another 10 years, or another 100 years, technology is improving, is what we have, right? We have this full trust that we spend good time together, regardless of how long it will be. And this is a very nice, natural, good feeling. And yeah.
I think it's a good answer for us. How did your approach towards a relationship change after meeting Ishmael? I think it's a question for me, but you can also answer if you want. I thought before we met that being in a relationship, it's difficult. You fight a lot and you need to compromise a lot. I mean, this is how I view different people's relationships. I was like, hell no, I'm not signing up for this. And then that you need to compromise, you need to, I don't know, stay in a place that you don't want to stay because your partner works here and I want to travel. So I, for myself, decided that I don't want that. I want to live my life, do cool stuff, and I don't want to go for vacation once a year for 2 weeks. I knew that I don't want to live in Poland. And I didn't think that you can find such a cool relationship. So now I changed my approach. Now I see that it is possible. You shouldn't maybe, I don't know if it's the right, phrase. You shouldn't settle for less, kind of. That would be, I always knew that I don't want to settle for less. Either I have relationship that I want to have, that I feel 100% sure, confident about, like, that I know that this is it, or I don't want to have this relationship. Even though I was lonely, I wanted to be in a relationship, but I didn't want to have relationship that does not make me happy. So my approach changed, that I thought it cannot be so easy and fun. I thought it's a difficult struggle and compromises a lot. What about you?
Yeah, I agree, though I don't really like the word should, as you know, because should is very close to shame. And if I tell you something you should do or you should not do, I'm shaming you if you don't. So I think what's important is it's your decision if you settle for something, yes or no. So you can decide for yourself if this partner you're with is what you're looking for, and be honest with yourself, because only if you're honest with yourself, you can also be honest with the partner that you are dating or meeting or having a house and 2 children together. And only if you have this clarity, you will understand, is this person the right person for this very moment, but also for something longer, for something more serious. So each and everybody has different needs, and they can decide if this is a good potential and then go and try and find out, and then also commit to certain things. And yeah, everything else that you said, I believe, is a very valid statement, and we don't need to talk about it again.
Okay. How should a relationship develop, slow or quick?
There's no right or wrong. Again, like, some people might say our relationship developed super fast. If you ask me, we spent 363 days together soon, because you had 1 or 2 days in Poland that I was not there, but that was like literally 1 or 2 days over the last year. We spent a lot of time. So what's the definition of fast and what's the definition of slow? And I think in a relationship, if you really break it down, there is exactly 2 people involved. There is you and there is me. And those are the 2 people that can decide if it's the right pace, if it feels natural, and if it's too fast or too slow. That's a very subjective understanding of things, and therefore to me there is no fast, there is no slow, and there is no right or wrong. I think this really depends on your partner and yourself, and it should feel slow. I'm sure there's people who develop much faster than the 2 of us, and I'm sure that there's people who need much more time. And I also, what does development mean to a relationship even? Like, is there certain milestones that you say, okay, a marriage is a goal, or like the first kid is a goal, or there is no point system in a relationship, right? So just make sure in the very present moment that you're happy with what you have and build something that is likely to last for long. And that's all you can do in the end. And for me, there is no answer. Should it be slow? Should it be fast? It should be the right pace, and you will feel if it's the right pace, yes or no.
Yeah, because for us it went, in my opinion, quick. And I also know people that, I don't know, they see together since a year and they didn't tell each other that they love each other, because it's a big thing for some people. And I think it jumped out of your mouth like, I don't know, after a month, because he was still in Fuerte. I was like surprised, and I was like, what do I say now? I didn't think about it. But then, I don't know, since then we tell each other that we love each other. And I don't know, of course it's a different feeling right now, and now I for sure know that I love each other. And that time that we said it, we felt it's the right thing to do, and it was okay for us. So I think I agree that this is 2 people, and you guys can decide what is the right. I think it's important that 2 people agree, okay, this is how we want to do it. I think it's more difficult if I want to develop quick and you want to see each other once a week. Then for me it would be really difficult. I would count days to see you for sure, and it would be difficult. So I'm happy that you wanted to see me every day.
Yeah, and it's also the 2 personalities that you and I have. We don't really care, at least speaking for myself, but also for yourself, about what society says, about what other people say, about what the norm would be. We are the people we are, and we want to live the life we want to live. Most of the people anyways don't get what are we gonna create and what we are already living, and therefore we can also take the decisions for ourselves. But if you're somebody that really values tradition, that really values the opinion of parents, church, friends, your employer, that there's nothing wrong with it, because this is your understanding of things. This is your value system. So there is no clear-cut answer. After N days, you should do this. After N hours, you may do that. There is only the right answer for yourself and your partner, and you will find it yourselves. As long as both people, usually it's at least 2, feel comfortable about the decisions that are taken.
How to talk about your needs in a relationship.
Very open, very direct, and regularly, I would call it. We talk about our needs. Well, we talked about it earlier, in earlier episodes, but also in this talk, that we have very open communication, right? So we talk about each and everything. And this is one of the foundational pillars of our relationship. And we talk every morning and we talk every evening. So I believe, I can talk for myself, or I can speak for myself, of course, that whenever I have the feeling that one of my needs is not met, I bring it up. And I bring it up immediately. And we have this structure, we have this trust that we can bring all the topics up, which is a beauty, but which is also something that both of us value. So bringing up needs may or may not be the easiest conversations if you have to bring them up, bring them into a conversation. But I think also if you frame it differently, it can be a wonderful thing, right? I mean, we have our needs and most of them are met, but also our needs develop and they develop together. So usually what we do is we talk about what we have and we talk about if there's anything missing and what we can do together in order to satisfy those needs. So I don't have any problem bringing them up anytime and any day.
Yeah, for me it got easier with time. Once I realized that it's okay to talk about my needs. At the beginning I was like, I don't know, maybe waiting a few days and like thinking, how do I tell you? But now straight away, I think this is the, for me that would be the answer. Like openly, straight away. Don't wait a month to talk about something, because probably, I don't know, maybe I feel that you don't cuddle with me enough. And then I'm like, how do I tell him? And then I think like maybe he doesn't like to cuddle so much. And maybe if I tell him, he will be like, dude, we're not gonna cuddle as much as you want. And then I think about it for a month and I don't know, create stories in my head that are not true. And then after a month, I come to you and tell you, and you're like, okay, of course we can do that. I'm like, why didn't you tell me before? So this is why you should talk openly and straight away.
And that's one scenario. The other scenario is I have the very same thought and need and also don't tell you for a month. And after 1 month, which basically becomes 2 months, because 1 month on your side, 1 month on my side, we both hold back a need, and it's even for the same thing. I mean, what's the point in not talking about it? So yeah. I think what we can tell people is if you don't have an established room to talk about needs, and maybe there is no needs to talk about, but try to, for us it worked, to have this very open space. And if it's every Sunday after dinner, or if it's every Monday before you go to work, whatever works for you can be best. And if there's no topics, I mean, this is needs, no? But it could also be difficulties. It could also be issues. It doesn't have to be the same conversation, but create yourself some space that potentially you can talk about it. And if there's nothing to talk about it, cool. But if there is something to talk about it, use this time and talk about it. If you don't have, because I can see that people cannot jumpstart from not talking about needs and difficulties to where we are. It's super difficult. But if you say, okay, like once a week we want to talk about difficulties, once a week we want to talk about needs, and every day we want to talk about what we appreciate about each other, you are creating space for doing so. It doesn't mean you have to use this space, but if you have it in place, you may or you may not use it.
And yeah, it also, sometimes I realize that with many people I have difficulties to bring up something, even if it's something as easy as, please can you do the dishes, because you didn't do the dishes forever. With you, I don't have it. I can tell you straight away, and I know that you will not be sad, mad, or offended or something. This is what this open communication created for me, a feeling that I can bring up anything and it's gonna be fine. And we will not be like, a week ago you told me. No, if we fix something, if we talk about something, we're not bringing it up again because we fixed it. And this is what I also like. It's not that I come to you, tell you something, and then in two months you will tell me that this and that happened. No, we don't do it, and I really appreciate that. Can this relationship get better?
Obviously it can, and obviously it will. Again, what's the definition of better or worse? For me, a relationship is the common development, and we are developing continuously, and we're having a super nice time together. But if it wouldn't continue to improve in a way, then probably it would feel also different. So I don't know what's better. What's the definition of such? I think we have a very, very good relationship, and just keeping it at this level needs a lot of effort and input, which is effortless activity most of the time, but it feels good, and I think we will develop towards even more happy people, if you want to say. But at the same time, this very present moment is what we have, and we are happy. So I don't know if a relationship can get better.
I mean, for now, I'm like, this is so good. I cannot imagine it being better. But also in the past, I felt like, my life is really good, like a year ago. And now I'm like, wow, this is super, super good. So I don't know, is there anything better there? It might be that in 40 years, we are like, wow, this is so good because we spent so much time together. We went through so many difficult moments, but we still are together. And this feeling could be even better what we have right now. But I don't know what's better, what's worse. It's super cool right now.
I don't really care about better because the present is so good.
Yeah, this is a good answer. Are there topics that you disagree fully?
Fully? I don't know if something comes to your mind. For me, not so much. We of course have disagreements, and of course we have topics where we have different opinions, and that's good. For me, that's very good. It's not that I have my opinion and you say yes and amen to everything I say. And likewise, you have your opinions, you have your thoughts, you have your ideas, and we challenge each other, we talk to each other, and we help each other. So I think there is a lot of ground that we have overlaps, that we have common beliefs, values, approaches on life, but there's also topics that you and I don't have the same opinion.
For me, it's hard to think about such a thing. For me, the most important is that we, for example, want to live this life together right now, this type of life, that we travel, that we agree where we want to go, how we want to live, what kind of house we want to have, what do we want to eat. This is like, sometimes I've heard from one friend that like, yeah, my partner, he doesn't want to eat healthy and he doesn't want to exercise, or we have like different approach to money, but this is only that. And I'm like, dude, you eat together every day, or you want to eat together every day. Like money, it's a big topic. It's not something small. So in my opinion, it's really nice that those big topics, everyday topics, we have same opinion. We have similar opinion on how we want to spend money. For me, it would be really difficult if you are a person who watches every penny and you want to save as much as possible. I think we wouldn't be here. I would be so annoyed. I would be like, dude, if you want to spend save your money, save your money. I want to spend it all and have fun. I don't know, there is probably a few things, but for now, I don't know, like maybe these kids, I'm really afraid and I think it's difficult, and you think it's easy, can be easy and fun. So this is like, but yeah.
Anything will be cool and easy if the two of us will do it, but that's a side comment. But let's dig into one of those essential topics, because let's take food as an example. We have agreement that a healthy lifestyle is good, but we don't necessarily eat only the very same. But again, we have a very good understanding of each other's needs and of each other's desires. So if you order seafood or fish, because this is your source of protein and you still like eating seafood or fish, I'm not going to tell you that you cannot. I'm not going to tell you that I'm this militant plant-based eater and you are doing so bad for the world. You're an adult and you can take decisions for yourself, right? And I respect and accept your decisions. yes, we both want to live healthy, but we don't necessarily eat the same food all the time because you have a few distinct values that you value higher. For you, it's more important to have the source of protein in your natural food than it is for me. I say I don't want to eat any animals. And this is my interpretation. We have a huge overlap for 80% of our food. Maybe 85%. I don't really want to give a number here. But there is certain things that I do. And there is certain things that you do. And yes, sometimes you join in on my protein shakes, or sometimes you join in on all the supplements that I have to take. And you help me with those supplements. But we don't have 100% full agreement. And that's fine because we understand each other. And I'm not blaming you for doing this. And you're not blaming me for telling me, dude, now I have to cook this in that way. And we had it the other day. I'm like, if you don't...
I wanted to put oyster sauce because we ran out of soy sauce, and I was like, dude, I don't want to have this, I don't know, rice noodles without sauce. So I will put oyster sauce for myself, and since Ismael is trying to turn or being vegan right now, he doesn't want to have oyster sauce. So I was like, let's put it. So we didn't put oyster sauce to your food. I just put oyster sauce to my food because I don't care so much.
Yes, and I also don't care so much about the taste. And for you, it's more important to have this particular taste in this very moment. And for me, it was not. So we have small things which still are distinct. And there is a lot of everyday examples like that. But I think again and again and again, it plays back to open, direct communication. I'm not going to get frustrated, but we solve it in that very moment and we make sure that we actually solve it and then we talk about it. But of course, there's a lot of things in our lives that we don't have 100% agreement on. And we could probably make a full podcast episode about it. But I think we may not even need to unfold all those topics.
I think I couldn't come up with any example because usually we agree to disagree and that's it. And this is...
We don't need to go into this topic now, but we had a fairly big disagreement when we talked about vaccinations and when we were in Central America and coming back to Europe, because my understanding of freedom in telling people what to do and what not to do was being threatened. And you had the approach that you said, okay, I just want to get this vaccine and be able to travel. So we had the outcome, what we did, how we dealt with it is the very same. And I don't want to open this topic now too much. We don't have to jump in. But there is again and again topics that we have very different opinions on. But I think what we manage is to hear each other out and to be not too stubborn is like, my opinion is the only opinion and your opinion is the only opinion. And then we have a clash, but we can also accept those differences and we find ways to create overlaps and to still live a happy life. But we talk about those discrepancies, I want to call it.
Yeah, I agree. We have a few more questions. Let's see how many we can answer. I don't want to make it too long. I don't know how you guys like 2-hour podcast episodes with my boyfriend. Let me know. Then we will make another one like 5 hours. But yeah, today we have an appointment to make a PCR test before we fly to Nepal, and let's cross fingers that we are negative. What's the biggest difference between you? Do you want to describe this difference? I think there is one big difference.
Okay, then tell us.
The biggest difference is that I like to avoid things and like do things later. Like I don't like to think small tiny things right now if it's not something that I really have to do. Like the big example right now for me is that I lost a screw in my glasses and you told me like go and like I don't know, like ask somebody to fix it, and I'm like, yeah, later, tomorrow. And then I also at the same time lost my sunglasses, like they just broke. And for 3 months, even though the optician was 10 minutes by scooter from our house, I didn't go. And when it got really serious, because I lost one, how do you call them?
Lens.
One lens in the water, Then I went the next day because then it felt really urgent for me. And then at the same time, I fixed my sunglasses. So for 3 months, I didn't have sunglasses because I was too lazy to fix something. And you are a person who likes to fix, who like to fix stuff straight away, like in this very moment, which sometimes for me is annoying because, dude, we can do it tomorrow. Like, I don't want to like get out of the couch right now and do it. But I think this is the biggest difference between us, that I like to do stuff later if they are not so urgent, and you like to do them right now. And I think I'm annoying for you when I do that, and you are annoying for me. So this is like, because this is very different.
Yeah, that is in fact very different, especially for small tasks. Because small tasks, I take care in 5 minutes in order to make sure that they don't become a big task. Because if you just stop at the optician, let's use this example. If you just stop at the optician, you get a screw, it takes 5 minutes. And you avoid and avoid and avoid. And in the end, you didn't have sunglasses for 3 months and you didn't have normal glasses. And to be fair, you don't see much if you don't have glasses for a week. And this is a distinct difference. But again,
I'm trying to change it.
And I understand you, and you know that I don't want to change you, so you can decide what you like, what you don't like. And I think, again, like, we have understanding, no? And like, you understand that I fix stuff immediately most of the time, and I understand that you don't have to fix stuff immediately. And it can be the dishes, it can be the screw in your glasses, it can be so many different things. But I'm not here to change you and tell you this is my way is the highway, or like you should change towards this or towards the better. We have full acceptance for this difference. We see it. And yeah, this might be the biggest one that we may think of now. I'm sure there is other ones.
Is there anything that you can think of?
Out of my head? Not much. I mean, there's a lot of differences, but
I mean, we are different people, right?
Exactly.
We are different. But I think we have similar values like freedom, independence. This is what's important for us. And it's interesting that, like, in our top 5 values, we have freedom. And one could think that being in a relationship makes you caged or something. And for us, like, this relationship, for me, it makes me even more free.
That's what... Yeah. I would say that a relationship, especially one that we have, liberates us even more, because we can do so much more cool stuff if you're with 2 people and you're going to experience all the stuff differently. So I would say if you are in a relationship and you feel caged, you may want to question that. I wouldn't go there. And if I don't feel liberated by my partner, then I'm not in the wrong space. This is my very personal, subjective answer to it. But yeah. It should give freedom, and it does. Yeah.
Maybe for this one, quick answer. Do you have any taboo topics?
No.
Is there anything that you are not confident or even embarrassed to talk about?
From my side, no.
Not anymore. For some time I was like, I am embarrassed to go to the toilet when you are around. But we kind of talked about it, so not anymore. That was the last one that I was like, I don't want to talk about it because,
Getting closer and closer, huh?
Yeah, but then we had those moments where we had to flush our toilet with a bucket because there was no water in Nicaragua. So those moments, it makes you closer and closer. And if I tell my boyfriend, dude, this toilet is too close, dude, can you go out of the bungalow?
Sometimes he will follow into.
Yeah, so I think that was the last one. Do you make each other mad sometimes?
Mad, I would say no. Sad, very seldomly by now. I think in the beginning we learned to understand each other, to interpret each other, and to know each other's intention. It's a learning process, and it's an ongoing learning process. So sometimes we had not so nice task to make each other sad in order to learn from it, in order to grow from it. it doesn't happen too often anymore. And mad, no, maybe it's just I'm a person that doesn't really get mad most of the time. There's sometimes moments where I realize differences, but I only make it a problem if I label it a problem. I only get myself into a mad state of mind if I tell I want to be mad, right? I can also just appreciate the difference, understand that your Stinner understands life in certain aspects differently than I do.
Do you have any examples? Because I'm curious. I don't know what you're talking about right now.
No, I could get mad that you didn't clean this, or that we have a mess there, or that we haven't done the small everyday things that many people, I guess, fight about, but only if if I get frustrated about them and I choose not to be frustrated about the stuff. I tell myself it's not the end of the world if there's a little bit of laundry laying around there. It's like, yeah, it wouldn't happen if I would live by myself, but it's not the end of the world if it happens.
And
therefore,
here it comes, the answer. Who's the tidiest person in this relationship? I thought I'm tidy before we met. And yeah, I can accept dirty dishes overnight because I don't feel like doing the dishes straight away, so I can do it one day later.
Yeah, and I can either accept that or just do it myself, or like throw out the wet garbage because I don't like to have wet garbage if it's 30 degrees outside. There's all this stuff, but I'm not getting mad. I just accept and deal with it because I only make it a problem if I label it a problem.
I think the only thing that makes me sad sometimes when we have this moment of not being able to understand each other. Sometimes if, I don't know, there is a topic between us and I'm telling you something and you don't hear what I want to say, and the other way around, you are trying to explain me something, but then it's like you don't have. And I think the most important for me is to remember that you have good intentions, and it's important that you know that I always have good intentions and I don't want to hurt you and I don't want to make anything against you. And sometimes we have those moments that we just cannot solve it right now, and this is really sad for me because sometimes we go to sleep without solving a topic, but then we also understood that maybe it's better to just go to sleep and then talk about it in the morning. And usually in the morning we have the fresh mind and we're like, wow, I'm sorry, I didn't understand you yesterday. And this is what makes me sad sometimes, that we cannot understand what we are saying. But by now we learned that this is what it is, and it's okay because we can solve it the next day.
Oh.
And once we even managed in a really difficult situation to solve it before we went to bed, which was the last situation. And I think would be nice if we can continue like that. But if not, it's okay to solve it the next day. How do you manage language barrier between Polish parents and Ismael?
A lot of smiling.
Yeah, my mom really likes your smile, and she's just trying to. She just talks Polish to him, and she doesn't care so much. And sometimes you understand what she means because she's like showing, like she's making some gestures, and you can ask for śmietana for pierogis, and it's You can manage. I translate it all the time. I translate everything. But you can also like go to her and ask for śmietana, for example.
Yeah, it's no deep talk yet, but still we have a lot of fun and we appreciate each other's positivity, I want to say. And yeah, I mean, there's always you or one of your siblings around who can translate stuff, and even if not, your mom and I will manage for a few minutes. So, all cool.
Yeah. And are you planning to learn Polish, or are you learning Polish?
Currently, I'm not learning Polish, and it might become a topic because, yes, I would like to interact differently with your parents, but also, in full honesty, it's not the number one priority at this very moment. It may or may not become the number one priority because yes, there is a want that I would like to communicate with them. But for now, there's a lot of other topics that I want to take care of before doing so. So it's not my number one top priority, as we have common language, maybe soon common languages that we can engage in. And therefore, yeah, that's probably my answer.
Learning a language is not an, quick and easy topic. I don't know why, but I decided for myself that I want to learn German because I realized I understand a lot, and I realized with Spanish that I kind of like learning languages if I want to. And this is something for me that if somebody tells me to do something, I'm not gonna do that. But if I feel like this is something fun, so now I have one German class per week. And the thing is that I know that I can make way better, bigger progress if I take 10 minutes a day. But even right now, for me, it's like, if it's not the priority number one, like you say, but I prefer to have one class a week and make tiny progress. And now, even after like 3 months of classes, I can say a few sentences, and it's funny and I like it. But it was a question for you and I answered. But I'm not, telling him to learn Polish. And there is a last question. How did you picture Poland and Polish people before being with Justyna?
Interesting question. What's the answer that comes to mind? Well, first of all, I knew Poland and Polish people before I met you. Number one. And I think I'm not a big fan of generalization, so I'm not picturing any nationality or even a full country to be in a certain way. So I, of course, heard of Poland, but also, for me, it doesn't matter where your passport is from or where you live. You can be a nice person, you can be a very not nice person, and it really doesn't matter if you're Polish, German, Spanish, Sri Lankan, Nepalese. It really does not matter. So I'm not the big fan of stereotypes, even though, of course, they work, because subconsciously stereotypes still do work. And there was no picture in my head about Polish people or Polish people from the village. I mean, we are all the same. We all live in human vessels, or like in bodies, but it doesn't really matter which nationality you bring to the table for me.
As long as you're open and stuff, I don't know.
Yeah, again, like there is open and nice people, and there is very not nice people.
Yeah. I always thought that I don't want to have a German boyfriend. I don't know. When I thought about it, I kind of thought that I would like to have a boyfriend not from Poland, because again, it's generalization that I never really met a guy from Poland that I thought like, that could be my partner. And I was looking for a Spanish boyfriend, but I got a German one, so.
But do you really, am I a German person, or do I have a German passport?
Yeah, this is what, yeah. I don't know, you're not so German. And that's what, this is what I thought about people from Germany. And it's not true. This is what you're saying, that, yeah, I had a view on German people, and I don't know, I never really thought about it, but I like your answer. And I think we will finish up here. And again, our conversation is like 1 hour, 20 minutes.
Look at that. A short one this time.
No, I think the last one was also long, like 1.5 hours. So I hope you enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed it, you can send me a message. And now you can also send a message to Isma, because he has Instagram and he is having his own podcast, and he's talking about habits, being happy and excitement and freedom. So this is the 3 episodes. Which episode is coming now?
Well, basically, Habits was episode number 4, so it's not out there yet.
Ah, okay.
3 was about failure, and then there's also guests on my podcast where we talk about different topics. For me, it's exciting conversations I have, so if you can learn from it as well, feel free to tune in, and yeah, feel free to send me messages, of course, and that's as much advertising as I want to do here. And it was good fun with you, as always. And yeah, we have an activity-packed day, so
yeah,
I guess it's also good if we keep on going, but still it's also good
we need to pack our stuff, make a PCR test, fix everything, take Ada to the airport. So we have stuff to do. So thank you so much for listening. Let me know if you like this episode and if you want to have Isma again and what topic we can discuss in details, because right now we kind of like went for the surface, or yeah. So let me know, send me a message, and hear you guys. I don't know how to say that.
Talk to you soon.
Talk to you next Monday. We'll hear each other next Monday. So thank you so much for taking time and recording this romantic episode. I hope nobody puked.
Why would they? No, thank you very much. I think it's also good we have those conversations. I mean, some of those questions we don't regularly answer, so it's good that we talk about stuff like that as well. It was good to hear your answers on those particular questions. And for each and everybody out there, have a nice day, have a happy day, and enjoy.
Yeah, thank you. See you.
Papa.